federal judge ruled that Biden's policies relative to the COVID pandemic aid are actually prejudice towards white people or non-minorities. Judge Reed O'Connor found that the Biden administration engaged in systemic gender and race discrimination towards majorities for American restaurants. Cafe owner Philip Greer had claimed in a lawsuit against the Small Business Administration that while white, he needs the same rescue as minority restaurant owners under the newly enacted American Rescue Plan Act. It's almost like limiting the budget, knowing that the minorities are a smaller group in a population size, but the plan itself, American Rescue Plan Act, on its face sounds great. The only problem is that the monies allocated are for a much smaller percentage of the population. It doesn't apply to everyone. That sounds disingenuous. Greer's Ranch Cafe reportedly lost $100,000 during the pandemic. Like many restaurants, Greer was delighted to hear about the restaurant restoration approved by Congress. However, he soon learned that due to his race, being white, white people don't deserve anything, he could not be considered until other applicants were allowed to seek funds. The White House and the Democratic-controlled Congress insisted that various groups should be first in line, including women, minorities, and socially economically disadvantaged people. Which is interesting because everyone's socially economically disadvantaged when you say they can't open their business because of a pandemic. The free market's no longer in play. They're disadvantaged by the circumstances of government intervention. And then you say, well, the first people that need aid are the minorities, which dilutes the pool or the money's required, because if you were to say, okay, well, what's the likelihood of total gross GDP associated with the minority-owned businesses versus the majority-owned businesses? Well, by socioeconomic demographics, it's likelihood you would require more money in that AIDS package to include white-owned businesses. So by calling it the American Rescue Plan and only putting in enough funds for minority businesses, you're saving money and you're limiting the amount of tax liability potentially and other things, but it's very disingenuous and it is racist. And if you're going to tell me that being racist or discriminative towards white people isn't discrimination because of the color of their skin denotes some sort of, post hoc reparations that because of all these atrocities in the past that during a pandemic caused, where the response, not the pandemic, the response forced businesses to close for white people, we're just not we don't care. That's messed up. It's also like the EIDL loan. Congress passed a bill for the EIDL. This is the first $10,000, whether you're approved for the total loan or not, is guaranteed and forgivable. What the SBA did was say, okay, well, it's $1,000 per employee. So people with less than 10 employees got less than $10,000, which Congress passed. And so to make up for, protect themselves from lawsuits, it's very hard to sue the government and the SBA, but to kind of offset that liability, they granted minority or poor business in poor areas the right to gain the full $10,000 the second time around for the EIDL. This targeted EIDL advance. But your business has to be in a minority area, which I think is ridiculous because you could have the zones for minority areas are really funny. How do you define poor? You could be poor and your business could be struggling in general in a rich area. You could have everyone around you do really, really poorly, but you're thriving. I was so lucky the video just cut out because I was out of space in the card. So I'm incredibly lucky that it didn't just ruin the last 25 minutes of me talking. Normally that's what it does. If it runs out of space, the last bit video just gets erased. I'm really lucky. It's never happened before. So maybe I should be quick with the rest of the show. I don't know. Lit a cigar to kind of calm down because I was so worried. I actually lit the cigar before I looked at it. I'm did I just lose 25 minutes of the show? It's 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh man. But no. But that is racist. This whole idea of skin color usurping everything. All your qualifications, all your ability, all your net income, your operating income as a business, your gross receipts, all that's irrelevant. Your skin color is the most important. It's bullshit. It also kind of offsets and protects the government against inflation while giving them this sort of public image of trying to protect the American people, like something called the American Rescue Plan. It's kind of bullshit. It's very political, it's very fake, it's propagation, it's bullshit. I don't like it. Yes, you can be racist towards white people. I tried to read the two most thickest books I've ever read are Gödel Escher Bach by Hofstadter. Is that how you spell his name? Hofstadter? It took me like 5 months to read that book. Very heavy. And the other one, White Fragility by God knows who. It's almost impossible. Those are the most difficult books I've ever read. Because try to read that White Fragility book. It's like, it's confusing. And I don't know. Maybe I'm not learned enough, but it was pretty heavy. The push for like, I don't know, like just like hate yourself because you're white. It's the most unbelievable thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's really disconcerting. You should discount all your achievements because of the color of your skin. That's racist. Yes, there's advantages. Yes, racism exists. Of course it does. Yes. But like, don't completely put on the blinders and then like celebrate race, but also at the same time denigrate racism. You can't have it both ways. If we want to move as a culture beyond this, we can't do this for the sake of political advantage and manipulation. It's so lucrative. It works. It really, really does, but it's messed up. Anyways, I hope that guy gets his money. Stephen A. Smith reported the Packers told Aaron Rodgers to shut up and play. That's not racist, is it? That's how he talks. When he's like really into it.